but she didn't go to war and fight the enemy. She went to Milwaukee and made parts for diesel engines for Navy submarines, but she still served in her own way. And that's part of what Memorial Day is too for me. I'm truly honored that you asked me to be here today to take part in this Memorial Day observance, and I'm truly grateful that you put forth the time and effort needed to make this observance happen. You did it because you know why this nation observes Memorial Day, and you understand why this day is so special and so meaningful. Sadly, for too many Americans, Memorial Day is little more than a long weekend which marks the unofficial start of summer. Millions will make their way to the movie theater this weekend and watch films that celebrate exploits of comic book heroes and other larger-than-life characters. And I enjoy one of the movies myself. Captain America is my personal favorite. But I know that those movies are just entertainment and they're not real. I guess most everyone knows that, but it seems that many of us are unaware that there were and still are real heroes. Heroes who perform larger-than-life feats against incredible odds. Heroes who made it possible for us to enjoy things like going to the movies. I speak, of course, of the heroes we honor on Memorial Day. The brave Americans who sacrificed their lives for our great nation, who paid the ultimate price for freedom, and who have thus earned our recognition and remembrance. These are real heroes who made real contributions and paid a real cost for their courageous actions. These are heroes who tower above anything produced by Hollywood. Heroes who should inspire us more than anything we've ever seen on a movie screen or read in a book. The list of these heroes is a long one, containing about 1.3 million names. The names of those who gave their lives in all of America's wars and conflicts. We heard many of them today. Thank you very much for that. They died while serving this nation, most taken at a very young age, and all of them remembered and esteemed as we pause to observe Memorial Day. To put that number in perspective, 1.3 million is about the population of the state of New Hampshire. As if that entire state were sacrificed for the rest of the nation, it is a large number representing a terrible loss, a loss profoundly felt by parents, spouses, and children, and family members, friends, and neighbors, all left to mourn loved ones who died so that others may live free. These are losses that must never be minimized and, above all, must never be forgotten. For those who still mourn, the loss of one may seem more than the loss of 1.3 million, because mourning is a very personal emotion. To those whom Memorial Day is a reminder of a loved one who died in service to our nation, please know that today we mourn with you and offer our most sincere condolences. We observe Memorial Day because of the lives that were lost, because of the sacrifices that were made and the costs that were paid because of our sacred duty to those who died while doing their duty on our behalf. And so we observe Memorial Day in sadness, but not in despair, because we know that those losses, terrible as they are, were not in vain. The United States of America, though not a perfect place, remains a land of freedom and opportunity. Our nation must survive in a world that is far from perfect, a world in which the enemies of freedom are still at large. Our freedom is not guaranteed to us and must be defended. That's true today and has been true throughout our nation's history. At every stage in our history, from the Revolutionary War right through our recent engagements in Iraq and Afghanistan, the defenders of freedom have raised their hands, stepped forward, and put their lives on the line for a higher cause. Sadly, to fight for freedom sometimes means that you will die for freedom. We do not and should not celebrate this unfortunate fact, but we should and do celebrate and remember the lives of those who made the ultimate sacrifice. They are our ultimate heroes, and we honor them all on Memorial Day. They displayed a type of true heroism that can never be captured on a movie screen. A heroism that comes straight from the heart, that really is larger than life, that should inspire us all to serve causes higher than ourselves. That number of heroes, 1.3 million, also happens to be approximately equal to the number of Americans currently serving in the military on active duty. That may seem appropriate to you, or ironic, or merely coincidental, but to me it does shine some light on Memorial Day and its meaning. As I said, 1.3 million is a large number, but it's also true that the current population of the United States is now about 308 million. That means that the number of individuals serving on active duty makes up about 0.5% of our total population. Relatively speaking, a small group and an elite group in every sense of the word. And as I pause from my speech, another reason why I'm glad that you asked me here today is more and more today that the percentage of people who serve is smaller and smaller compared to the rest of civilian society. And by inviting me here, you've invited me into your day. And you have narrowed the gap that has begun to exist between the military and the society that we serve. They are today's defenders of freedom, and they are national heroes of today. They all volunteered to serve and are all risked their lives to keep this nation strong and free. I'm truly humbled to count myself among their number and proudly wear the same uniform of service that is worn today by so many other amazing, courageous people. Their service is a tribute to the honored dead who we remember on Memorial Day. The difficult and dangerous duty of defending freedom that was performed in the past must still be performed today. So let us be thankful that a new generation has willingly stepped up to perform this duty. I would like to conclude my remarks by telling you that no more names will be added to the 1.3 million heroes honored on Memorial Day. No more names will be added to our list, but I'd be less than honest if I said that. Freedom still has its enemies, and defeating the enemies of freedom will still require some sacrifices and likely some losses. I wish it were not true, but wishing cannot change the fact that freedom never was and still is not free. I have confidence that the enemies of freedom will someday be fully and finally defeated, but this will take time and sacrifice, as well as strength and resolve. Some difficult days may lie ahead, but the future is bright, and the ultimate goal of a world in which all people are free can be reached. When that day comes, I hope we pause to pay tribute to all who died for freedom, back to the first Continental Army soldiers who fell for the sake of liberty. As we as a nation and as a people must never forget, just as we should never forsake freedom, we should never neglect the memories of those who fought and died for freedom. Those of you who put on this observance and are here today understand that. I'd ask that you carry this message with you and when you leave here today. May our honored dead lie in peaceful eternal rest. May God grant comfort and hope to those who mourn their passing. May God grant health and happiness to all of you, and may God continue to bless and keep America. Thank you again for inviting me to be part of this Memorial Day service, and thank you for knowing and respecting the true meaning of this holiday. God bless you all. Thank you.